Hello. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good evening over here on this side of the world, and good morning on that side of the world.
That's right. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. Hello and welcome. I'm Makini Smith.
Hi, Suzana. How are you?
I'm very, very well, thank you. How's your week been?
It's been a good week. I can't complain. Keeping busy with clients. Kids are all healthy. Everyone's good. Can't complain. What about you?
That's great. I've had a busy week too. Busy with clients. I've got my mother-in-law coming to stay with us today in about an hour, so she'll be here for the weekend. So I did a quick clean last night, so but it's all great. It's all great. Welcome everybody. So this is our second last interview series for Renewing Your Mind for this year. So I'd like to welcome you all. And
you froze there. Are you there, Suzana?
I am. Can you see?
Can you guys hear or see us? Is it just Suzana that's frozen, or are we all frozen?
Just put in the comments if you can see us. Can you see? Yeah?
Yeah, I can see you now.
Okay, I'm back. Hello. So welcome everybody. As I was saying, this is the second last interview we have for the Renewing Your Mind interview series for this year anyway. We may resume next year. We have a very, very, very special guest today. Like all of them, every week we have a very special guest. I am so excited about introducing you all to the incredible Rachael Downie. So let me tell you a little bit about Rachael. Rachael's a success mentor. She's someone who is truly focused on converting your thinking into results. Rachael began her career as a teacher with a background in agriculture and hospitality, and she branched out into consultancy and leadership, and she's one incredible leader, I'm telling you now. She works with a variety of individuals, businesses and CEOs, both locally and internationally, simply because people have the same blockages, no matter what level of success you are. We have the same blockages, doubts, limited thinking, money and staffing issues. And if you don't, you're probably one of the 3% who is an unconscious competent. So Rachael is also an international best-selling author. I absolutely love her book, The Secret Millionaire Dollar Paradigm, and I've got it here right in front of me. I'm going to pull it out in a moment. It's your formula to success. She's also the author of Parenting with Hope and co-contributor of Humble Leaders. So very, very, very successful, very, passionate about the work that she does. She loves helping people create success, the same mission and vision that we all have. That's what we've brought. We've just brought people along in the Renewing Your Mind interview series that have that same mission and passion. And let's welcome the wonderful, incredible Rachael Downie.
Welcome.
Hello.
Wow. Welcome. Thank you, beautiful ladies. What a privilege it is to be here with you both.
Well, we're honored to have you here with us. Thank you so much for agreeing to share your energy and your wisdom and your light with us today.
I'm excited.
We've had the pleasure of interviewing fellow coaches. We've had the pleasure of having our clients on here, people that we admire in the industry. And, Susanna and I started this Renewing Your Mind series as a co-creation of some work that we've been doing together, including co-authoring this book, Renewing Your Mind. And I just want to thank you because you were one of the first people that got a chance to read the book and send us a review. And for those of you that are listening, I'm just going to read quickly Rachel's review of the book so I can thank you once again. You said, "This book is a must read. Simple yet deep concepts are explained in a way that readers can easily relate to. Thank you, Makini and Suzana, for creating Renewing Your Mind and providing some easy steps that people can follow to create the highest version of themselves." So I just want to thank you for taking the time to read our book and taking the time to join us here today and sharing space with us. Every experience is co-created. I say this to Suzana all the time. So I'm looking forward to co-creating for the next little while with you and Suzana.
Wonderful. Thanks, Makini.
You're muted there, Suzana.
So, Rachel, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Wow, where do I start, Susanna? Well, I'm currently 48 years of age. And apart from all the work I do, I have 4 amazing kids, 12, 14, 16, and 18. And my husband and I run a dairy farm as well in Tasmania, which is a place right at the bottom of the world. And we milk about 1,000 cows. So that's a little bit about what I've got going on in my life.
Well, you don't at all look your age at all.
You'll go
far. And one thing that really absolutely always fascinates me about Rachael is they've got a massive dairy farm with 1,000 cows, 4 children with different age groups. I think your oldest child is 18, an adult, and then youngest, I think Lucy's 12. Is that right? Yes. Yeah, so and she's running her own successful business. And Makini, never in my life have I seen Rachael look tired or be on a low vibration. She's just always complete joy, always fills the room up with joy. So, you'll have to let us know the secret.
Yeah, what is your secret?
It's all in renewing your mind. Like, it becomes down to a decision, isn't it, of how do you want to show up each day? And I'm coming from the intention of the energy I want to put out in the world. So it's a decision.
Absolutely.
And I remember one of the first things I worked on, in this material with you, Susanna, was I wanted to create a life where I work less and earn more, so that I had that freedom and flexibility. I work less and more. It's getting easier and easier. Like, somebody offered me a job the other week and I added up the hours I did and I thought, I'd have to sit in meetings. I have to be around energy that maybe I won't choose to be in. No. It's easy just to make. Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful, being able to make that choice? If it's not an absolute no, then if it's not an absolute yes, then it's a definite no. Yeah. I love it.
Absolutely. And I love what you said, Rachael. It becomes easier and easier. Everything is a habit, isn't it? And it might be, difficult to start off with because of our old programming and habits. But, you said showing up every morning with the intention to have a great day, and the intention of how you want to show up. And the more you do that, the more it becomes a natural part of the way you show up.
Yeah. And it wasn't always like that. It was really hard. Life, I came from a place of complete frustration, resistance, anger. I was very reactive, and I still feel, I can remember, I think I was around 42 or something, at 43, and I went, how have I not known this information my entire life? How have I not known how to use my mind? And I was a teacher for 15 years. And in that time, not once did I teach a student how to use their mind. And my 21 years of education, no one taught me. And it's all I've been doing in the last 7 years, like you guys. It's so incredibly powerful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. When Susanna and I decided to transcribe some of our workshops last year into this book, we realized even though we have learned this material through Bob Proctor and we've taken, our own life experiences and implemented it and used the examples with other people, we all basically have a different, I'm going to say, so we could be basically saying the same thing, but it resonates differently, with each person. So you are one of the top Procter & Gallagher Institute consultants. You've used this information to change your life. We would love if you could share with people like how this information changed your life.
Well, I think one of the points I wanted to add before I move into that was that for anyone listening to this is a really powerful conversation that the three of us are having, in that the realization is that Makini, Suzana, and myself all do the same business. We do exactly the same business in helping people with their mind. The key is we don't come from competition. We're coming from a space of collaborating and sharing and knowing that there's an abundance of clients of who we will be in harmony with my story and, and the businesses that I work with. We're all different, but it's a matter of how we can show up today and really help you, the listener, or connect you, in some way to create that aha moment. So for me, as I said, that's where I was, very overwhelmed and very frustrated and, woe be me. And I certainly didn't feel very good about myself. So the greatest shift for me, I believe, are the things that you can't go and buy in a shop. You can't go and buy more confidence. You can't go and buy, I am actually happy in my skin and in my body now. I couldn't go and buy more inner peace. All the things that I now have that nobody can see on the outside, or perhaps, and feeling the most calm and relaxed. I very rarely would get frustrated in a year nowadays. This is just who I operate from. So for me, it was the feeling. That was the greatest shift and change in my life. But then in regards to what I created in my life, I've used the material that, that Bob taught us in literally every single area, from my marriage to creating a very successful business and turning my annual income into my monthly, to buying and living and purchasing in our dream home, to being able to parent my children in a way that they take ownership and they come up and, they'll share with me this information and how they're using it for themselves, to, flying business class. I never, ever thought that was possible, to sponsoring villages in Africa I've done for the past 3 years. And I once thought, God, how could I even manage to do that? That's just out of the possibilities and realms. And oh gosh, the list is so long, but I can talk about the physical, but for me, it really is in who I am and how I get to show up in the world each day now. That is truly, what I feel is the richness and the success for me, and what I then get to transfer out to other people. That's such a gift.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You shared so many powerful points there just now. Like even at the beginning, when you were talking about us all being in the same industry and there's no competition, we interviewed Danielle Amos, who is also another Procter & Gallagher Institute consultant. And we ended up being on her podcast and having this discussion around collaboration versus competition and the beauty in us being able to be in the same industry, but still co-create, still be able to, share spaces and collaborate and partnerships, and the beauty in that, and the way that we are able to, exponentially do things and not have to work as hard because we're working together.
Yeah, absolutely.
So much of that is the shift from operating from fear.
Yeah.
That, you're fearful of you weren't going to make it, fearful that, gosh, what happens if a client goes to them, or what happens if it's all from fear. So to be able to shift the energy behind what we do, it's so liberating.
Yeah,
absolutely. Fear and lack. And if you really understand this material and you live this material, then there's no competition, because everything comes from within, right? You have everything inside you. You were literally born rich, as Bob Proctor, says in his book. You were born with everything that you need inside you to have anything that you want, to change your life in any way that you want. So therefore, there's no, by collaborating, we're actually increasing the force. We're actually increasing the energy of this information, not only getting out, but coming back to all of us in the way that it's meant to. We don't have to control the way it's coming to us, and it's going to connect with the people it needs to connect, and it will do its work the way it's meant to. So there is no lack.
Yeah. I also love how you brought up the point of the intangible benefits. I think, I'm going to say my old school paradigm, the scarcity mindset and looking at like material things, that used to be the focus. And then when you study this material and you look at fulfillment and what truly matters and impact and all of those things that you cannot buy in a store, I know even for myself culturally, it's like people are afraid to invest in things unless they see a tangible result. They want that thing immediately. They need to be able to see that. But in this material, the way that our lives have transformed, you may not be able to see those things tangibly. The evolution of who we've become, or the greatness in the relationships and the connections that we've made, and all of those things. Like, I love that you pointed out that the rewards aren't necessarily tangible things, but there's so much value, so much more value from what we've learned and what we teach.
And I think the interesting point to anybody listening to this is, Suzana and I pretty much started out together, I think, and this is not how we operated. It was really hard, right? And we cried a lot, and we didn't get it. We thought there was something wrong, and it reinforced everything. Everybody else was creating success and we weren't. And, we could get on that bandwagon of it's not working. And, it's just that our level of awareness wasn't there yet, but it's a matter of just keep going. I just remember wanting to understand it all, and I just couldn't. And, sometimes it does feel like banging your head up against a brick wall, but it is working when you can get out of your own way to some degree and, release the virus code and start to choose, well, who am I and what do I really want? What is my soul yearning for?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And aligning with that. And that brings us to our next question. So, the three of us share the same purpose, and that is to help individuals to wake up and to tap into their own inner potential. So tell us just a little bit more. You've actually said a lot, and shared so much there, Rachael. But tell us just a little bit more about your own perspective. What would you love for, anyone watching this, whether it's live or in 10 years' time or whatever, what would you love them to know about their own potential? What's your own perspective?
Well, look, there's two points I really want to tap into there. One of the key things is that we are born with a potential. It already exists inside of us. And having been a teacher, coming from that area, we basically are going out and giving knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Giving knowledge to children, expecting but they already know what they want inside. So it's about facilitating. And my youngest daughter, she's been designing clothing since 3.
Wow.
Now, I want that to be fostered, but I can already see within the schooling system the limitations occurring. And I said, I don't mind. I will back you up. Let's just experience this and create, because I know what we need to do from your imagination and creative point of view. The actual, and I love when Bob said that educate, the Latin word is educo, which is to draw out the potential, just allow it to be released. Now, how do we do that? Well, the beginning question for me is around, what do you want? But that can be a very difficult question for people if they came from a place like I did. Yes. I'd always justified to myself what I couldn't have, what I had to go without. I came from a place of comparison and judgment where everybody else was better off than me because I had a mindset and energy, state of being of lack and poverty. So, I continued to, literally shoot myself in the foot because I could not find what I want. And I remember being on a caravan trip with my husband and the kids, and we were having conversations, and my husband would go, what do you want? You know what you don't want, but what do you want? And I went, I don't know. And it wasn't until a few years later where I came across Bob's material, and still working through it, I did not know what I wanted. And it wasn't until somebody said, what have you justified to yourself that you can't have or you have to go without? Opened the floodgates. And also the tears. I turned down going to friends' weddings, traveling to the other side of the world, just in these expectations and things of what I thought I should be doing. You know, people pleasing, doing the right thing. I was not doing the right thing by me. So there's a lot in that question around potential. It's understanding you are born with your potential, and we only scratch the surface of it really with all, you know, the virus code I call, you know, the conditioning that we've received that stops us from showing up as the best version of ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Wow. And that question, you know, what was it again, Rachel? So what have you
justified to yourself that you can't have or you have to go without?
What have you justified with yourself to yourself that you can't have or you have to go without? Wow. Wow. Powerful. And I would say 99% of the population needs to hear that. Yeah. And educo, I remember Bob saying that, to draw out the potential from the word education. Wow. Wow. We have a fellow Tasmanian here, Leslie, who says, oh, there you are, the power of three goddesses. Yippee. Bob is smiling from beyond. I love you all from down under Tasmania. Infinite possibilities everywhere, in everything. Leslie, Rachel's from...
Thank you, Leslie.
So we've got two Tasmanians on the show today.
Hey, what a privilege. How exciting.
I love it. Yes. I love it. So, Rachel, in your book, The Secret $1 Million Paradigm, you interviewed millionaires, including Bob Proctor.
Yeah.
What were some of the common characteristics that you found in the millionaires that you interviewed, without giving them all away so people can go still and purchase your book?
So one of the key things was, because I came from lack, and I wanted to understand, like at one point thinking that success was money, right? So what I wanted to understand, the people I interviewed, 3 men, 3 women from all around the world, were that they were self-made. It didn't come from, you know, money that had been passed down. It's from them starting from scratch, but also talking about their lives and what they experienced. And I think in every single one of them, there was some, I haven't written it in the book, but I think it's something like tenacity. It's something like a persistence. It's something like there was a desire in them that they knew they wanted to do more, be more, have more. Many not knowing what that was. And, you know, some incredible stories and journeys along the way. But just knowing that they wanted to express who they were. And so they came to a decision, and it all came down to that decision. Decision was a key thing. The other thing was having that self-image of themselves and the belief in themselves that they could do it. And, you know, if they failed, that they could get back up again. And that failure was part of the success process. Now, for myself, that was a big thing to have to overcome, because, you know, I tell people now that I'm a reformed perfectionist and control freak. So as a perfectionist, failure was just not okay. So, you know, it's a big shift in understanding. So I, you know, really blessed, you know, Demo, his story is amazing. He was the record producer for Madonna, Rhiannon and Jay-Z. And, you know, Brian Matson, there's a story in there around the 6-year-old who didn't want to go to school. And so his mum was a teacher, and she'd leave earlier to go to school. He'd walk off and pretend he was going to school and come back. He did this for a week until the next door neighbour, you know, said, "Did you know that Brian's been staying at home?" Well, he was just sitting at home, eating what he wanted and watching TV. But the thing was, when he made a decision what he wanted to do, he was just committed 100%. And that continued throughout. So, you know, there's some great stories like that. And the reason I was inspired to do it was because we all have a story and we're all wanting to understand how to improve our lives in some way, you know, if that desire is within you. So I was hoping to be able to connect people, you know, through the stories of other people. And that's where that came from.
I love it. I'm a huge fan of stories and the lessons that we learn through other people's stories. I don't remember where I heard it, but it's like facts tell, stories sell. You know, we remember stories. People can tell us things about their lives, and if it was just stats that they were giving us, we'd forget. But you know, we can hear someone's story and go on and share it with someone else, and you know, learn the lessons through that person's story. So I think it's beautiful that you. You know, we're able to interview those people and take those stories and put those lessons into a book for us to absorb.
Absolutely. And as we mentioned, and it's an incredible book. I've been looking around. It's been staring at me all week, Rachel, on this bookshelf. And here it is. I found it. There we go. I knew it was up here. Here it is. And I thought I couldn't find it, but there it is. This is Rachel's book, The Secret Million Dollar Paradigm. It's a great, great book. So Rachel shared some stories with us of the people that she has interviewed. Grab yourself a copy. You'll absolutely love it. So I mentioned earlier that you are one incredible leader. You seem like you're a natural leader, and you'd have to be in some way, you know, co-managing a farm and 4 incredible children and a business of your own. What are the key factors to great leadership?
Oh, the word that just came through straight away was confidence. I think in the sense of, if I think about many of the clients that I work with and what I'm working with them on, whether it be in leadership teams or individually in their businesses, it's coming from a place of them identifying what their fears are. And many of the times it's not speaking up. It's not actually saying what it is that you want to say, or you can identify problems, but such and such say, no, I'm not, I won't mention anything. And so it's all the stuff that's left under the table. Whereas when you grow in confidence, you know that you know that you know, and you're not worried about what the other person thinks, but you can become aware of how they're thinking. So you know it's actually not about you anyway. So I truly think that confidence. And the second thing, hand in hand, would be attitude. So like you said at the beginning of me having energy, well, that's an intention. So I had to really shift my attitude, because I came from a very negative attitude and I was a massive action taker. Well, it's actually helping people to facilitate, you know, other people implementing action and you managing that, rather than you being the doer all the time. But you bring the energy of positive thinking and positive feeling and create the picture, the vision, and then translate it out. No, and again, easy to say in words, right? But it's the action then that it moves through into. They would be the key things: confidence and attitude.
Yes, which then moves into the action. Wow, absolutely. And I loved what you said there also, Rachel. It's about the vision and the energy behind that, you know, that then creates the action. And
I have a great, I can share this example. I have this great client in Sydney, in Manly. He's a builder. And he's been in the industry for 17 years. He's always operated this way. So he's what I call one of those unconscious competence. And he actually gets all the builders. So he has about 17 to 25 contractors, subcontractors on site, depending on, you know, what job he's doing. And he gets them visualizing the outcome that they want at the end of the day. So they're looking at the project, they're looking at the blueprint, and then they're visualizing what they look like. And he shared with me the other day, he got them all holding hands. Now we're talking about 50-year-olds and down, all holding hands and visualizing what they were, the outcome that they wanted. But he then got them to look down at their hands and said, and our hands are what's going to create it. So it moved from seeing to then the action piece. I've just got shivers saying that. Like, it's so powerful in hearing this.
Yeah, Absolutely. You know, when I've heard you share that story with me before, but sharing it now, I remember a time when I was living in Japan back in 2004. And they have a very strong focus and very strong work ethic in Japan. It's absolutely incredible. And every morning, so I taught English in a few of the schools there. And every morning, and I also studied at Hiroshima City University, and the staff every single morning before they start, just before they start, would create a circle, the team, and then put their focus and read out their purpose and just hype the energy up so that when they start, clients and customers can feel the positive energy, and it keeps their focus as a team as to what they're there to do and what they're there to achieve. So yeah, it's
amazing. It's amazing. And that to me is the intention part. My children go to a Quaker school, and that is very similar in the sense that they have that minute of silence before they move into their next class, but they have that where they're actually collecting themselves, bringing spirit in first, and then they go out and do their task. And, you know, whether the kids are aware of it or not, that's what they're doing. And so it's, you know, an incredible opportunity to be able to be intentional.
absolutely.
And sorry, go ahead, Susan.
What a great habit for kids to learn, you know, and to take for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Whether or not they're aware of it, it's a great habit to implement so that they don't even, again, probably the unconscious part of it, but they may not be aware of the impact that they're even having on their own life, the compound effect of their actions and how that's going to turn out for them later in life. So that's beautiful.
Absolutely. Yes.
Wow.
Wow. You.
Well, okay, Rachel. So as we, wrap up the end of this interview, I would love to know if you had one message to give to the world that would help change the world, what would that be?
Ooh, well, if I think about the thing that I probably say the most to all of my clients and to the people that I come in contact with, I'm calm, I'm relaxed, and I have all the time I need. Show up in that way, then it's a lot easier to create what you want and to get what you want, because you're very focused, you have that quietness about you, but you are also not in a state of rushing or anything like that. But I'm calm and relaxed and have all the time I need.
I love that.
I'm relaxed and I have all the time I need. What a beautiful way to conclude this beautiful time with you, Rachael Downie.
You, both of you, it's been lovely to chat with you today, and what a great way to be able to have a conversation.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your gems with us and for, writing a review of our book. And I would love to actually have you on my podcast as well, because I believe you have so many gems that I just want to amplify and get that message out there. And again, practice what we preach with, co-creation and collaboration.
Yeah, we are so blessed, to be working in this space, all of us together. And this is what it's all about. This is, I just love the energy the two of you bring through Renew Your Mind in the book. And like, there are just so many gold nuggets through that. And as I said, because it's in the simplicity of it, that's all we need. Yeah. We tend to overcomplicate everything. Whereas if we keep things simple, people can understand and create that change that they want for themselves. So well done to the both of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us today. We are absolutely honoured. We have loved every minute of this time we've had with you. I think we can just stay together all day and just have these conversations on many occasions. But thank you to everybody that has joined us, that has been following us, that has been purchasing our book and your reviews and feedback. If you haven't received your copy of Renewing Your Mind, we'll put a link in as to where you can order. And also, don't forget this incredible book from Rachael Downie too, The Secret $1 Million Paradigm. Incredible book. Both are incredible books. Thank you so much. Next week, we have another very, very, very special guest. It will be our last interview for this year. And have a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye-bye.
Everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.